What do you say, baseball fans? Rye Bread Talking Baseball, episode 80. As you can tell, we are not at the Trop. Life happens, and we had our plans fall through, so the live show is going to have to take a break until we get another shot at the Rays. Doesn't mean we're not going to be watching them, though. Last night's offensive explosion is just what they needed. The only way the Angels are going to get you is if they outslug you, because their pitching is just woefully bad, and it has continued for them into last night. Rays go crazy. Everybody has either a walk, a run, an RBI, something, except for Lau. Lau still had a little bit of a struggle last night, batting just over 200. Numbers can be deceiving, though. Wander Franco's batting 105, but two of those RBI that he would have had, he's knocked in runs that have been errors. He's made it happen with his legs. He's been more effective than those numbers indicate. If you're watching the game, you can't take your eyes off Wander. That OBP still up there as opposing pitchers treat him with kids' gloves. He gets more respect than Randy, it seems. They pitch around Wander Franco. Maybe nobody wants to get taken deep by the rookie, but Randy was 3 for 4 last night. It's not like they were pitching around him very well. And, of course, Choi got back into the action last night with a 4 for 5 night. Everybody was hitting, but it's good to see these guys starting to heat back up. Gonna need it. Good note from Durham. Last 3 outings for El Electrico. Luis Patino lighting it up down there. Last 3 starts, 15 innings pitched. And what is it? A 3-0 record, 0 runs, 23 to 4 K to walk. I think he's ready. Bing! Ah, what's that? Ah, that's the Patino. El Electrico. He'll be up before you know it. I expect his next turn to happen at the major league level. And frankly, the Rays need it. Another spark. Vidal Brujan hopefully starts to turn it around. He hit a little bit of a rough patch. And the roster crunch is already on. Lewis Head was recalled from Durham when they put Fleming on the IL and gave him 2 strong innings to close it out last night. The bullpen is back in action. The ERA went below 3, I believe, last night, and that puts them, as per the usual, at the top of the bullpen ERA, at least in the American League. And it doesn't show any signs of slowing down because there's a lot more help on the way down below. Shane McClanahan got through his 1 rough inning. He's a young pitcher. The consistency still eluding him, but man, when he's got that 100-mile-per-hour stuff working, it looks sweet, especially when he's down in the zone. Getting a little late movement down in the zone, it's tough to square that up, man. And the Rays just keep on rolling. Eventually, we'll be there to do our live take from the Rays house. But it was not to be today. Everything happens for a reason. We're not going to worry about it. Angels, though, are now 8.5 back in the wild card behind Oakland. Oakland holds the second wild card and an 8.5 game lead on their division mates. The challenge is going to come from Cleveland, it looks like. Cleveland just keeps hanging around. And the Angels, with that pitching, they don't show any signs of getting better. Even when Trout comes back, if they're that far out, it's not going to matter. I saw something on Twitter. I felt bad doing it. Is there anything this guy can't do? And they're showing all these amazing Mr. Majestic highlights. Ohtani being Ohtani. And then my snarky reply was, well, make the playoffs. Because the Angels just continue to squander the careers of the best players of this generation. Trout, 1. And now Ohtani so far 1A. And there's nobody to blame for that but the front office. Because they just skipped on the pitching, man. Do you think at some point somebody over there would have it figured out? That you need to have a couple of pitchers. And it's not like they don't have the money. It's the LA market. And they have a garbage pitching staff. It just defies all explanation as to how bad the Angels are. Both starting pitchers and bullpen. Ohtani's their only pitcher. And they keep burning the candle at both ends with Ohtani. What do you think's going to happen to him? He'll get hurt just in time for Trout to come back. And if you're Trout right now, you got to be pressing because the time is running out. You start getting this far back at this stage of the game, it's trouble. They're playing 474 baseball. The Angels, the chic pick in the American League, is playing 474 baseball with that record at 36-40. Let's get to 500 before we start talking playoffs for the Angels. It's really bad and not looking any better tonight with the old Yarbs. Yarb's going to spin up a gem tonight. Or so we hope. But like I said, Cleveland is the threat now for that wild card, more so than the Angels. Cleveland's sitting 2 games back in the way they pitch, even with Biebs and Savali not there. Still hanging around. Didn't expect to see that. Sandoval for the Angels tonight against Yarbs. Sandoval is probably the best Angels pitcher that we've faced in that series so far. But they're going to need to do a lot more than they've done thus far in that bullpen if it's going to even matter who's the starter. A lot of problems there for the Angels. I mean, we've been down on the Angels ever since Trout got hurt. For me, that was it. I called it. Called time of death when Trout is hurt for 2 months. And I have no words for how poorly that's gone for the Angels. This long with Trout and nothing to show for it. Nothing. But some other great pitching matchups today. You know we like Brady Singer, and that's a tasty matchup there, Jordan Lyles. We still can't do our bets here from Florida, but that would be one I would definitely take a look at. Swerve and Irvin at this Sammy Long for San Francisco. I am not familiar with him. I looked at his numbers. San Francisco's won the last 2 games that he started, but it wasn't because of him. So if the A's are going to get one, it's going to be today against Sammy Long with his 4.91 ERA. Swerve and Irvin's kept his ERA under 4, but I think that's a little bit bloated. He's a better pitcher than that. We've seen him with a couple rough outings, but overall, that pitching matchups favors the A's a great deal, and I think the A's, they need one, and I think they're going to get one. The nightcap, Alzolay at Kershaw. Look out for the Cubs. The Dodgers haven't been the Dodgers that we expected to see. Little World Series hangover, little injury bug running around, whatever you want to call it. The Cubs are in a good spot to win this game tonight. Alzolay is the new pitcher worth your attention. He started off a little bit rough, and his numbers were inflated, like we said before, because when he came out of the game, the first 2 times that he came out of the game with runners on base, they all came around to score because the bullpen let him in. So we've been on him from the start, and we've won a couple of bets with Alzolay, and he's more expensive now. But tonight, I don't know if I'd be brave enough to do it, but the price is going to be right. We already hit on Wander. I expect a multi-hit game from Wander tonight. I think he's going to break out. You can't keep that kind of guy down for that long. I was talking about it with my old man about his left-handed swing doesn't look quite as smooth as his right-handed swing, but I don't know how long he's going to stick with being a switch hitter when he just hits with such massive power from the right side. Although he's been unlucky from the left side, I notice he tries to go oppo. He's had a couple of hard hit balls, 95 plus, the other way hitting from the left side, but he ends up topping a bunch of balls or rolling over a bunch of weak grounders to the right side. He managed to beat him out and score a run, and Blau scored on one of them because he's just so fast that a little topper to second base is enough. But when he's coming out of that left side batter's box, it's a quick time down to first. And he's just an exciting ball player, and like we said before, the other pitchers are treating him with kid gloves. Last one I want to touch on today, Phillips breaks that 0 for 15. You know we're big Phillips fans here. That triple, almost a homer. He kind of was thinking it was a homer and still made it to third easy. The guy's got speed to burn. So you got Franco, you've got Margot, you've got a Rosarena, you've got Franco. Wheels, man. Wheels and power. The Yankees have the power but not the wheels, and that's why they're not winning games. Just a stagnant offense that relies all on home runs. The Rays won that 1-0 weird game against Boston because they got the wheels on the bags. not from the power. So we expect that to be a trend going forward that's going to help the Rays. They are dynamic, and they're playing fast and loose. And let's get Zunino into the All-Star game, for crying out loud. Hit another one last night. Jeez, oh Pete, Zunino, no respect. But we love him. We're going to be voting Rays when hopefully some of them made that final cut there. And we'll be able to see some Rays in the All-Star game. The best team in the American League might want to have a couple players representing at the All-Star game. I don't know. Did Houston split with the Tigers yesterday to end their streak, but they won the night half of that doubleheader, so they're back to a winning streak of 1. But man, Houston's tough, and that's hurts even worse for the A's, who have been losing these games to the Giants because they're falling back as the Astros continue to play great baseball. All right, running a little bit long today. Don't forget, Fishtails of Homosassa open for business. Got great food, great booze. And Bascom's Chop House, St. Pete, Tampa, Clearwater, best steakhouse in the city, best wine list. And don't forget, your travel plans include Bravo Beach Resort, Siargao Island, Philippines. You will not be disappointed. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you again tomorrow. Gonna do 162.